He might have got him with the headbutt and been a little bit sloppy with it, but I didn't think it was intentional, but no one cares what I think. What did you think, and what do you make of the disqualification? And keeping in mind, he's just ruined some kid's Olympic dream, and the kid was very angry when he got DQ'd.
Yeah, I hate to say it, I'm a little bit of an expert in this field because I did 4 Olympics from starting with 2000 was my first for NBC, and the great Dick Ebersol, who at that time was the president of NBC Sports. So I did 4 Olympics. I did Sydney was my first. I did Athens, I believe was the second in 2004. 2000 was Sydney. 2004 was Athens. 2008 was Beijing, I believe. And then 2012 was my last Olympics with London, where they threw me out. But we'll get to that, we'll get to that in a moment. I digress. But so I am a little bit of an expert on, I guess. I mean, me and my great partner, Bob Papa, I did my first Olympics with the great Marv Albert. I was so blessed. And I did my next 3 with the great Bob Papa. And I think Bob Papa is the best boxing blow-by-blow announcer there is, really, to be honest with you, out there. But he does a lot of other stuff. He does New York Giants football radio. He does the Golf Channel. He does a lot of stuff. So it's not
one
like
quick thing, Teddy. I said
doing boxing.
I said the Italian fighter. It was a French fighter who got
French.
I'm sorry, a French fighter got disqualified.
It was a French fighter against a British fighter. And
that's right.
The French fighter's name was Aliev, Aliev. And he was fighting Fraser Clark, one of the Brits. We love our Brits.
That's right.
We love our Brits. And I just want them to know that's why I wore this shirt today, in thinking about our great Brits over there across the pond, our great brothers and sisters. This was the last Olympics I did, and before I got thrown out. So I watched it. I watched the replay of it when you brought it to my attention. You and Robin said, let's touch on this. And the first thing I thought about, honestly, was I've seen worse. Again, that's why I went through the explanation of doing 4 Olympics. I've seen a lot worse. I saw a little spot there where I can't say it was deliberate, but I can't say it wasn't deliberate. Where I did see a little bit of a swipe down with his head, and
I would agree with you.
Yeah,
I agree 100%. I saw a little something.
So I'm not sure. It could have been a little bit, on purpose. It might not have been. I don't know. Did I think it was enough to disqualify him? No, I didn't think that. Did I see any warnings that you would hope that you would see, like a warning, before you just get an out-and-out DQ? I don't know, because I didn't see it other than that part of it. So I don't know if earlier there were warnings. I don't think there were, because I didn't read anything about that there'd been a warning administered before that. And I think that was part of the uproar, that it just came so sudden, out with no warning, out of nowhere. With something that wasn't, it didn't appear, to be that outrageous, where sometimes you see somebody intentionally headbutt. Guess what? It's outrageous. And you say, oh, yeah, come on, you can't do that. It didn't appear to be that, obviously. So I was surprised with suddenly the guy's gone, just like that. But as I said, and this, usually I don't like to go down this road, but I've seen worse. Because if it's wrong, it's wrong. It's wrong, it's wrong. And again, I didn't see anything that should take somebody's Olympic dreams away. I saw Olympic dreams taken away from the first moment I started doing the Olympics. As I said, for 4 Olympics. And, when I first got asked to do the Olympics, I was so proud, because it's like, it's almost like you got recognized for doing something at a pretty good level, at a pretty high level, that they asked you to do the Olympics. I was like, wow, oh my goodness, wow, thank you. I must be doing something right. And then doing the Olympics, my great partner, Bob Papa, and I had a great partner, like I said, Marv Albert, where he told me after we're there 3 weeks and you work for 2 weeks, morning and afternoon and night for the first week and a half. And he said, Teddy, we did 278 fights. I was like, we did 207. Oh my goodness. It's a lot of work. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. You got to be prepared and you got to be ready to pronounce a lot of names that you have no idea how to pronounce.
I was going to say, I want to see a compilation of you pronouncing some of the Asian names, the Thai names, the Azerbaijan.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. It's not pretty. And it's not pretty. And I tried to cheat with the great Marv Albert once. And I said, well, the fighter from Azerbaijan in the blue. No, Teddy, you can't do that in the blue trunks. You got to say his name. So he's right. He's right. Yeah. You can't cheat. But thank goodness for phonetic spelling and all that. Even with that, it wasn't a layup. But what really was horrific, and that's the right word, was seeing the corruption. I've been around boxing all my life, most of my life, almost 50 years now, and I've seen all the corruption in the pro games. But what I saw at the time, who was running the Olympics was AIBA. AIBA was in charge of all the, enforcements, of all the administration, of the officials, putting it all together. The IOC, I guess, would put them in place, and they ran everything.
The IOC would defer to AIBA, like the Amateur International Boxing Association. They'd defer to them and say, okay, you guys oversee the boxing tournament just so everyone's up to speed. So the IOC is kind of governing through AIBA, which at the time was headed by Azerbaijan representative. I think.
Listen, it was represented by a lot of different people. And some of them were from those countries. They were on the board. They were whatever they were. They had different capacities. The bottom line was, here's a guy, me, who came from a tough place, professional boxing, where I thought the worst corruption I ever saw in my life. And I had another thing coming to me. I saw worse corruption with AIBA. People think the amateurs are less corrupt. No. What I saw at AIBA, it made me want to throw up every day. How they were ripping the heart and soul out of these kids that trained most of their lives for this moment. And they deserve to move forward in their Olympic dream. And it got stopped. It got halted. It got stomped on, spit on by these corrupt officials immediately from AIBA. And I went to verbal blows with the head of AIBA in 2012. His name was Dr. Wu. They finally got rid of him, the infamous Dr. Wu. They finally got rid of him, but not way too late. And the reason I almost went to, we did go to verbal blows, and people had to basically get between us, was he had called a meeting to meet with me and my director, Bob Papa. So here we are. So they asked for a meeting with the commentators of NBC. That happened to be that's me, and Bob Papa. So we get this meeting. Bob Papa was much smarter than the director, the producer, anybody. He said, I don't know if that's a good idea to put Teddy with Dr. Wu. I'm not so sure. No, it'd be good. They want to have a head there. All right. At the meeting, he wanted to basically get me to back off from the things I was saying about the look of corruption and how poorly these games were being officiated, more than poorly, how corruptly, let's get right to it, they were being officiated and how they were destroying these kids' dreams. He wanted me to back up. And he started to say something, whatever. And I do have a habit of getting to the point, Ken. I think you've kind of learned that or saw that. And I think our fans understand. I don't know if it's always good, but I like to be kind of frank. And people could be frank with me too. I got to live by the same standard. I expect it. I got to deliver it too. Be frank. So I was kind of frank. And I said, hey, Dr. Wu, you know what? I've been watching these kids get ripped off, robbed. I don't like it. Worse, they don't like it. You're destroying, your officials are destroying these kids' dreams, their lifelong dreams. And you're robbing them. I don't know what else to call it. It can't be incompetence. It's the too great a degree to be incompetence. It's got to be something else, like corruption. He said immediately, you should be ashamed of yourself. And I'm not afraid to say what he said. You got to talk the truth. He said, you should be ashamed of yourself. NBC shouldn't have you there. You shouldn't be doing commentating. You're a disgrace. He said, I said, yeah, well, I don't know if he said disgrace. I might have been the one who used that word. I might have been the one. He said, you shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't have that position. I'm going to go to the head of NBC. I'm going to get you removed. You should. And then, well, I was going to say very calmly. It wasn't that calm. It wasn't that calmly. I just basically said, what I think is a disgrace. If that word came up, maybe I brought it up. But what I think is really a disgrace is that you have doctor before your name, because you got to earn the right to be called a doctor. And you are a disgrace, Dr. Wu. And that's the last time you'll hear doctor when it refers to you. I will never use it again, because you don't deserve to be called a doctor, because you are an embarrassment to your position. And you have a position of responsibility where a lot of people are affected by what you say and what you do. It's a great responsibility, and you've abused it. You've abused it. And again, I know people that are doctors, starting with my father, and they're honorable people. They earned the right to be called a doctor. You have not earned that right. You are an embarrassment. Well, after it was over, Bob Papa turned to the producer and said, you see why I said I didn't think it was a good idea to put Teddy together with a guy like Dr. Wu? Do you understand why? So we went on, we went down the road. I continued doing what I was doing. He went to the head of NBC. It didn't work. We kept working. That particular Olympics, the 2012, was the last Olympics. Ebersol stepped down. He was there as he maintained a capacity of advisory capacity, but he was no longer the head. There was a new guy. I can't remember his name. There was a new guy that was the head, but Dick was there for the Olympics, and that's why I did the last Olympics. I was getting a little tired of all the crap. I was. I'll be honest. I was so on it. The first one, the second one, the third one. But by the time I got to the fourth, and all this corruption every year, having to go down the same path, it was tiring me out. So I even told Dick, I'll do my last Olympics. It's your last Olympics. It'll be my last Olympics, or it might be my last Olympics. I didn't realize that I was actually seeing the future, because it was my last Olympics, whether I liked it or not. It was my last Olympics because I wasn't invited back after that. But here's the interesting thing. When I got ready to do the Olympics, I did my due diligence like we all do. And I had read a story about that the BBC had done a story before the Olympics talking about that they thought somebody from Azerbaijan, which was a mineral-rich, country that was formerly one of the satellite of the Soviet Union before they broke off, like many of them did, and they had a lot of money, and there was a story written by the BBC, a reputable, obviously, medium, platform, news organization, where it was purported that there was somebody in Azerbaijan trying to bribe AIBA for the tune of $10 million to buy 2 gold medals for Azerbaijan. So I came on the air doing my job, just saying, look, I'm not accusing anyone. The story's out there. Keep your eyes open. I'm going to follow it. And we didn't have to wait long. We didn't have to wait long. I mean, I don't know how long it was, but stuff started happening. And I'm reporting it. And Papa's report. And then we got that moment, that watershed moment, where a fighter from Azerbaijan is fighting a fighter from Japan. Ken, I'll get to the point. There's a lot I could go into. The bottom line was, it gets to a part in the fight where the Japanese fighter drops the Azerbaijan fighter, I believe 5 times. It could have been more. It might have been 6. Maybe, God forbid, it was 7. But what's it matter after you get to 5? He drops him 5 times. Ken, the referee wasn't even counting. The referee was telling him to get up. Wasn't even counting when he got dropped. Come on, get up, get up. There was one moment, I swear, I thought I was losing my mind. I thought he was actually helping him get up. but he, at the very least, he was telling him, come on, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. You don't do that. Last I checked, that's not in the book of refereeing. That's not in the general book of how to ref. It's not in there. You don't tell the guy to get up. So me and Papa are calling this live on NBC, and you could imagine we're saying what's going on here.
But right now, Abdulhamanov is hurt.
Yeah, why didn't the referee give him a count?
It's just amazing that he didn't. I don't know what's going on right now. There's a lot of confusion there. Nada. The Japanese fighting through the old-fashioned way.
Why is there no count being given? The guy is hurt. How many more times are you going to go down?
He's telling him to get up. Maybe the fighter wants to get out. Maybe the fighter's hurt. Maybe the fighter just doesn't want to continue. The referee scolding him, telling him to get up. Incredible.
And at the end of it, who do you think they give the fight to? Yeah, you got it.
Japanese
The fighter from Azerbaijan. Well, we went berserk.
Unbelievable. That's what the referee wanted to do. He wanted to save that fighter.
Everybody here from AIBA should look at themselves and realize why this sport is considered a joke.
I mean, rightfully so, really, because it was killing me that these kids were being robbed like this. It was killing me. And that these so-called refs and officials were part of it. They're supposed to be honorable. So, I said what I had to say. And there were other fights where stuff was going on, never to that degree, but it was bad. And every day I'm walking out and I'm seeing fighters laying on the canvas crying because they just got robbed. And I was like, oh my goodness. And there was one time, it wasn't that particular broadcast, but one of them, I actually said, these referees, they come here every day in a bus. We watch them arrive. And I said to Pop, I turned to my great partner, I said, they should get them all together and get them back on that bus and take them to prison right now. Make it a Department of Correction bus. Make it a Department of Correction bus. Get them all on the bus, get them out of here, and get them to prison. Get them out of here. And then there was another one where I said, hey, Bob, that garbage pail over there near you, bring it over here because I want to throw up. I mean, that's so you can understand. I wasn't invited back, okay? But at the end of it all, and look, full disclosure, I don't care as long as it's the truth. So what? You can't handle it? You know what? These kids couldn't handle being destroyed, having their hearts stomped on when they worked so hard. So they couldn't understand it, that you get one chance in a lifetime if you're lucky. If you're lucky. I know some people have been to more than one Olympic, but if you're lucky, most people get most people don't get one chance to go to the Olympics to represent your country. And these bums are going to rob you like that. So we got all the way to the medal matches. And then Dr. Wu and his group of bandits, they had enough. They had enough. So we were going for the evening session. And all of a sudden there's a bunch of security guys, I guess, AIBA security guys, surrounded me and Papa, which please do not sit there. please follow us out of the premises. All right. All right, Bob, I guess we're not calling fights tonight. So they take us into the trailer and we can't call fights. So now the head of NBC, Dick Ebersole's the advisor, but all the big shots, Molly, there was a woman, Molly, Jim Bell, good people, I mean, big executives. We got, I remember Jim Bell saying, so when he saw me there, he said, so you started World War III, huh? So I said, no, I didn't start none. I'm just trying to defend these poor kids. I know, Teddy. So, and we're standing behind you. So I said, all right, that's good to hear. So anyway, we get in the truck. They put us in a bus. I didn't know that I was going to be in the Department of Detention bus when I made that comment earlier. I didn't know that. So they put us in a bus and they take us, me, the producer, Bob, whatever, a couple of people. They take us to the what is it called? The IBF, the IBC, the IBC. Anyway, it was the headquarters where they all were. So I walk in and there's Ebersole with a smile on his face because, and he says, hey, Teddy, I heard you stirred up a few, ruffled a few feathers over there, huh? I said, hey, and they had you removed. So we're going over there to go into a meeting now with the head guy, right? To see what's gonna be told to us, whatever. So I see Dick. I said, hey, Dick, hey, Teddy, you're ruffled a few. You guys go, hey, come on, let's take a walk. I said, hey, Dick, I don't care. We only had 2 days left. We were at the weekend for the medal matches. We had done, like Papa said, we had already done like 270 fights. So here we are at the end. I said, Dick, you know what? I don't care. They throw me out of here. I'll come hang out here with you. You got all catered food. You got Starbucks down the end of the hallway. I'll hang out here with you and eat catered food and go get cappuccinos. And maybe I'll throw a latte in. So Dick's laughing. He put his arm around. He goes, Teddy, come on. Let's take a walk. Come on. So we take a walk. We talk. And then he comes out. He goes, I said, I got to go in and talk to these guys, Dick. I just talked to you. I signed up to do this with you. He goes, no, do me a favor. Go inside. You got to go in there. You got to talk. They're all in there. So we go in there, and you can see what it was. They had the gold medal match. They said the right thing. Teddy, we're standing behind you. All right. If you don't want to do no more, you know what? First of all, we'll never let you go back there, put you in the back of the room like they tried to say. I couldn't go to ringside. I wasn't allowed to ringside. I'd have to be in the back of. I said, well, I'm not doing that. He said, no, we wouldn't never let you or ask you to do that. Never. Either we're going to do something or we're going to walk away. We'll shut down all the platforms, everything. SMBC, CNBC, the internet platform, whatever. We'll shut them all down. And if that's what you want to, well, that's it. Even, we just did 2 weeks of boxing. We won't do the medals. We'll walk away. And I was like, because I knew there was an or coming, or after all your hard work, yeah, okay, go ahead. After all your hard work, obviously they were getting to the point they wanted it to be. We could go into that studio down the hall and you and Bob Papa could finish doing the medal matches the next 2 days. I said, I saw that studio. You mean that broom closet? I thought it was a broom closet. I'll be honest with you. I could have sworn I saw a janitor coming out. But I thought it was because it was about yay big. It was about yay big. It wasn't big. And so you want us to go into that broom closet studio and do the rest of it. Well, it's up to you. It's up to you. But I knew they wanted me to do that, of course. What good was it doing all these fights and not finishing up with the gold medals, right? What good is it? The gold, the bronze, the gold, the silver. So I said, I look at and he never got spoke to this way. And I didn't mean to be. I wasn't trying to be. I always try to be a gentleman. But I want someone to be a gentleman back, too. And I cared about this damn thing. And it bothered me. So I looked at the new guy. I can't remember his name. But I looked at the new head. And everybody's there witnessing this. They're all standing around. And I looked at him. I said, listen, I made this deal with Dick Ebersol, guy that I like, a guy that I trust, guy that I believe in, and a guy I've been, I have admiration and respect for. I trust him if he tells me something. I have no idea if I can trust you. I wasn't trying to be, but I was being very honest. I have no idea. I'm sure president of NBC didn't think that his first Olympics, that part of it was to have someone talk quite that way. Probably not used to it. But I wasn't trying to start trouble. I was just trying to do what I felt I needed to do and I could do. Just clean up this game a little. Do something worthwhile. So I said, listen, I don't know if I can trust you, but I know how to find out. I'll tell you what. I'll make a deal with you. I will give you my word that I will go with Papa and I'll finish the medal matches in that phone booth you call studio. But I want you a handshake. I want you to look me in the eye and shake my hand that before NBC does another boxing Olympics, that you will make the IOC fully investigate AIBA. If you give me your word you're going to do that, I'll go, show me where it is, and I'll go into that booth. He thought about it for a while, and then he shook my hand. I said, okay, good. Bring me to the booth. And we finished up the Olympics. We did a good job. We did the last 2 days in the booth, and he never kept his word. He never kept. And you know what? I'm calling him on it. I'm not saying his name because I don't even remember his name. And he doesn't care. He's getting zillions of dollars anyway. What's he give a damn about? But there were witnesses there. And I'll tell you something. I called up a guy who used to be pretty high up on the food chain over there, okay? No names. I called him up. He heard about it. He goes, Teddy, I heard you started a little rumble over there. I said, yeah, whatever. I said, I didn't start it. I tried to finish it. But I told him the story. He said, yeah, I heard about it. I told him the story. Somebody in the room told him. He said, you want my bet on the money? I said, yeah, I know what it is. He goes, I'll be shocked if he keeps his word. Well, he called me up about 2 months later, Ken, maybe 3 months later, and he said, Ted, he didn't keep his word. I said, yeah, no shock, but I kept my word. But here's the thing. AIBA was finally kicked out by the IOC in this Olympics. That's how corrupt the bums were. They finally got rid of them. They destroyed the boxing game. The Olympic boxing is not what it used to be. They destroyed it. You don't even see it anymore because they don't want to show it because there's so much corruption. And that's why I'm not there. And they didn't bring me back anymore. But I'll tell you something. That guy had a chance to do something good for the sport. He had a chance to clean it up back in 2012. That was 9 years ago. He could have saved a lot of kids getting their hearts broken, a lot of kids getting their hearts ripped out of their freaking chests, getting robbed. He could have saved a lot of kids, and he could have helped the sport by keeping his word and making the IOC go and investigate it back then. But he didn't. And it finally happened anyway. Why? Because it was so blatant. Finally, the IOC kicked AIBA by their backside out. Something that should have been done decades ago. But it finally got done. But that freaking bum, yeah, I called him a bum. Yeah, I don't care. That bum, if he would have kept his word, he could have got it done earlier. And again, he could have helped the sport. And maybe the sport of Olympic boxing would be healthier today than it is today. That's it.
Well, Teddy, to your point about how important these Olympics are to a lot of kids, we had Vasily Lomachenko, the great Vasily Lomachenko, on the show, 3-weight class world champion and 2-time Olympic gold medalist. And I asked him, of all the belts and all the titles he's won, which was he most proud of? And he said, without hesitation, by far, the Olympic gold medals mean more than everything. So to put that into context for people, these guys that are in the Olympics trying to box, this is their whole world. This is everything they've been focused on for at least 4 years. So to see a decision that's unjust is just not fair, regardless of the circumstances. So